Hello, this is Riley. Today is Friday, October 13th, and I am here to talk to you about fears. A couple nights ago, I was snuggled up in my bed watching one of my favorite feel-good animes, Natsume Yujin Show. It's a series that follows the adventures of a teen as he struggles with the ability to communicate and see yokai. Yokai are creatures that kind of exist and kind of don't exist, that some people can see and some people can't see in Japanese folklore and culture. And regardless of how these yokai always seem evil in the beginning of an episode, one thing that I love about this series is that by the end of the episode I always end up kind of falling in love with the creepy thing. Yes, I did think they were creepy in the beginning. So the episode finished and I was really happy and I felt good until I saw a little black shadow flit from underneath my bedroom door and into my closet. I am a logical person, I swear. Mostly. But even as logical as I was, I couldn't help but thinking that maybe this thing was a yokai. The lights were out. And it was dark. And it was nighttime. And I had just been watching a show about these things that kind of exist and kind of don't exist at the same time. But of course I knew it was just a mouse or a cockroach. I don't know if that's better though. And even though I am a human, a species that kind of dominates over everything, I couldn't help but feel freaked out that there's this little thing in my closet that could have some unidentified disease, that could be reproducing to create some kind of little mouse or cockroach army that would later then get into my cheese and cookies. So my boyfriend and I got up and we shone our little phone flashlight into the closet, because who has a real flashlight these days? And indeed, at the back of the closet what we found was a mouse. It was nothing but a mouse. It was a cute, fuzzy little mouse with little brown fuzzy ears, and I wish I could have pet it. But again, I was scared of its diseases. Drawing from my childhood wisdom, I went into the kitchen and I searched for a container. I found what I think is a glass tea jug, and I grabbed some cheese. I went back into my bedroom and then I put the cheese on the ground, and then my boyfriend had the glass tea jug and he held it over top of the cheese. Now what I was hoping for is that we would be fast enough to put the jug over the cheese, like in cartoons. Unfortunately, it was a bit too much like cartoons because we failed. Mice have evolved to be faster than the human hand, regardless of how naive they are to have come out of hiding after having smelt a little bit of foot-like parmesan aroma. So we were too slow. In the end it was a big scramble because the mouse got out of the closet and then we had to go find a badminton racket and chase it into a corner where we could put the glass jug over top of it. Finally, from the safety of this glass jug, we could look at this cute little fuzzy thing that was no longer a threat because there was a glass jug around it. And don't worry, after a lot of time and effort, we did manage to get it outside and it's all safe and it was good. So this entire experience made me think about fears, especially because today is also Friday the 13th, which is the day of fears. Why exactly do we get scared? Why is a little tiny fuzzy little creature with little ears gonna be so scary? Well, of course our brains are telling us, don't die, don't die. But these days, we don't have as much to worry about as we did when we were cave people. When we were cave people, it made sense to be afraid of the dark, because our vision was bad and things could eat us. It made sense to not want a lot of eyes on us, and that's why we would be afraid of public speaking. Although I don't know how many cave people did public speaking. But then there are fears like the fear of Friday the 13th, which we have named parascavidecatriophobia. Yes, I did practice that. No, I don't know if it's correct. So we have a lot of fears of a lot of things, but like with the mouse, a mouse is cute and fuzzy, but it also could have diseases. And like with Friday the 13th, lots of countries think it's a bad thing, but then if you live in France, you think it's the most lucky day of the year, so you go and buy the lottery ticket. So some fears are a little bit more rational than others. A lot of fears have a couple sides, and that's just one thing that I want to think about today. Why are we afraid of things? Is our fear as rational as we think it is? Does it really make sense to be afraid to talk to a stranger in the street? Or does it make sense that I used to be afraid of pigeons? No, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes our fears are irrational, sometimes they are rational because we might be harmed, but sometimes fears are worthy of a second look, so then instead of being afraid of something, we could actually learn and grow from an experience. Have a fun and safe Friday the 13th. Don't get too scared. See you next time.